We are continuing on Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim, and we are in Siman Kuf Nun Aleph, Seif Yud Bet, on Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Bet of the regular prince of Mishna Berura, the halachot of Bet Knesset. Maran writes, Yesh lizaher min ishtamesh be'aliyah she'al gabe Bet HaKnesset. You have to be careful using the upstairs of the Bet Knesset, upstairs of Bet Knesset. Tashmish kavua shel genai. No set function that is not bekavod for Bet Knesset could be done on the upper floor of the Bet Knesset. Kegon, lishkav sham, you can't sleep there. Ushar tashmishim, other usages, yesh leistapek. It's not so clear, says Maran, if it's mutar. Even not sleeping, even just a regular storage, whatever it is, it's not so clear. If you could have upstairs a Bet Knesset on top for usage of chol, for usage of regular mundane, and the Rama adds, "V'chol zeh davka bebet Knesset kavua." That's only for a Bet Knesset that's kavua. Shenivne mitchila lekach, that originally was built as a shul, as a Bet Knesset, aval bayit sheyichado la'achar shenivne lebet Knesset. But a house that you had, and then you had the upstairs neighbor that was living there, and now you decided to make downstairs a shul, a Bet Knesset, then says Shulchan Aruch, says the Rama, mutar. Then in that case is mutar for the upstairs neighbors to continue living there, to sleep in the room, like a regular room, because you cannot answer that on them when they already had a stronghold before the shul was dedicated as a Bet Knesset. So says the Mishna Berura. This is a very interesting topic, because again, especially nowadays, you have many, in the large cities, you have many shuls that they have a building on top of them. They're high rises, they're in large buildings in busy towns. So this becomes a question: can you live on top of, or many of the out of town Chabad houses or even kollels, they have a building that they buy. So the Rosh Kollel, or the Chabad rabbi, or the Shaliach, or the Rav, they lives upstairs, and downstairs is a Bet Knesset. Is that mutar? When they buy it and they have in mind to have a Chabad house or to have a shul / kollel, and then living space on the top, is that mutar? Seems to be from the Shulchan Aruch that would be absolutely not permissible. That seems to be what the Shulchan Aruch is suggesting here. So says the Mishna Berura. Milashon ze mashma de lishkav sham bederech mikre mutar. It's mashma that even if you're not living there, but we want to sleep once. You want to sleep once over there upstairs. That's mutar. One time be'akrai mutar. De bederech mikre lo mikri shchiva tashmish shel genai, because that's not considered an ugly, a disrespectful usage. It's a one-time thing. That's fine. Yesh listapek. This gets into the halachot of which parts of Kodesh, which parts of the Beit HaMikdash became sanctified and which parts not. The aliyot, the second floors of the lishkot, whether or not they were contained with the kedusha of the Mikdash or not, that's a question. Which is, again, it's a debate in several sugis in Shas, especially Masechet Pesachim, Daf Pevav. The Gemara discusses this, and the maskara of the Gemara there in Daf Pevav Amud Aleph is that we hold that they are actually nitkadesh with the kedusha of Hechal. Even the aliyot of Hechal have the kedusha of the Echal seems to be the maskara of the Gemara, and even though that the kedusha of Bet Knesset is not as heavy and severe and important as the kedusha of the Echal, right? And it's not like the kedusha of Azara even, but nevertheless, Obadia explains that at the end of the day, we have a safek within the Rishonim, and here it trickles down to the Shulchan Aruch, whether or not Chazal were machmir to compare the same level of halachic hierarchy in the Kedusha of Bet Knesset that existed in the Kedusha of Hechal. And therefore, whatever is asur to do in the Bet Knesset should be also asur to do it in the aliyah of the Bet Knesset upstairs of the Bet Knesset, like the Kedusha of Hechal. Fine. So says, the Mishnah Berura, Ulfi mashkata b'sha'aret tshuva, b'shem tshuvat Pe'er Hador. Now, Sha'aret Tshuva brings a tshuva from Pe'er Hador, which is the tshuvot of the Rambam, which says something extremely revealing. Now, before, 200 years, we have had the tshuva of the Rambam was not available for many of the early Achronim. For instance, the Taz, Turei Zahav, writes himself that he attributes the death, the untimely death, Rahman al-Islam, of his son, to the fact that he lived above the area of the shul. And he says it's asur. He holds that, and he says that because he attributes the fact that this tragedy happened to his family is because he transgressed this area of halacha. But once the tshuvot of Rambam was found, the tshuvot of Pe'er Hador, and it's mentioned in Sha'aret Tshuva, it's mentioned over here in Mishnah Berura as well, that the tshuvot of Pe'er Hador says clearly that it's mutar. It's in Siman Ayin Dalit, and it says that it's mutar basically. Now, there it says that even if you have a tashmish kavua of genai, even a constant usage that's not really respectful, right? Like sleeping there. You have your bedroom. You're sleeping on top of the shul, snoring away, right? And every night you're sleeping there. That still is mutar, says the Rambam, right? And Chacham Ovadia also paskins like that, according to this tshuva of the Pe'er Hador that we just mentioned in Yabia Omer in Chelek Vav, Siman Chaf Vav, Harabadia has a tshuva on this, but the Ben Ish Chai is machmir. The Ben Ish Chai is not willing to be mekel, even though that he did have probably access to this tshuva. The Ben Ish Chai writes that you cannot use the aliyah of the Bet Knesset in tashmish kavua shel genai. You cannot have your bedroom up there. And even in other usages, you should be machmir because of the safek of the Shulchan Aruch over here. So Ben Ish Chai is all the way stringent, and Chacham Ovadia is all the way lenient when it comes to this halacha. Now, how about the area under the shul? Right, you have imagine a basement for the shul, a garage. How about that? It's directly under the area you have the Bet Knesset. That already, the Ben Ish Chai himself, well, we assume that it's the Ben Ish Chai, the Sefer Torah Lishma. In Sefer Torah Lishma, he writes that if it was not built before the Bet Knesset was opened up, basically, right, and the petach, the opening of the basement is directly towards the outside, then it doesn't have any halachot of kedushat Bet Knesset, and you could use it for what you need. But if it was built and formed after the Bet Knesset was already there, which again nowadays it doesn't happen like that because you need foundation and so on for legalities of it at the very least. So then you should be machmir, says the Ben Ish Chai. So according to him, the basements nowadays of the Knesset, even if the Bet Knesset was built as a Bet Knesset, you could have it. There are many shuls that have mikvaot in their basement, and they have a storage and garage and so on and so forth. But mikveh is considered a non-respectful usage, and still that would be still mutar, even according to the Ben Ish Chai, who wants to be more stringent on this. So says the Mishnah Berura that that's mutar based on the tshuva of the Rambam in Pe'er Hador Siman Ayin Dalit, uchutz mi makom shal gabei hechal. It's excluding the area directly above the hechal. So if you have the Aron Kodesh, the hechal over here, upstairs of that, in the area that the hechal is, you cannot have any tashmish shel genai. And that would be the makom of the Aron, shesham munach haSefer Torah, sham yesh lizaher shlo lishtamesh sham. There you have to be careful not to use it. Therefore, you find, if you pay attention, some of the shuls, because of this, when they have multi-floor structures, they will have an out-hanging, so to speak, Aron Kodesh, that it sticks out of the building, and that's where the Aron Kodesh is. So the door of the Aron Kodesh is basically the wall level of the shul, and the actual area of the Aron sticking out of the building. This way, upstairs in that area, there's nothing built, and you get around the issue with this halacha. So,
Rabbi, if it's a planned multifamily or a multi-story building, you cannot essentially, if you don't have that possibility.
Now, so Harvadia writes about that. He writes that if you have a high-rise, whatever it is, a multi-floor building, then you could use in the area on the higher levels and the higher floors, you could use even in the place of the Aron Kodesh. You could use, he says, and he also writes that you could definitely put an Aron Begadim. He says, don't use it as a bed. Don't put a bed there if you know where it is. Put the Aron Begadim. Put a closet, something that is not disrespectful, something that is nice and clean. That would be lechatchila, but he does write that in the high rises, in long, tall buildings, that becomes that's mutar. He's lenient about that, and that concludes our seif over here. Basically, we will Bezat Hashem continue this in the days to come.